The difference between a rookie recruiter and an expert isn't just the hustle, it's their ratios. A rookie can take 10 screening calls to get just one candidate interviewed, whilst an expert only probably needs 5. If you want to hit those expert level outcomes, you have to stop asking that old school reactive question of, do you have any open roles to your prospects? Instead, you need to start giving value upfront. So today, I'm breaking down the exact 3-week give to get sequence we use to move from just being another recruiter to a strategic partner for your dream ICP. And stick around until the end because I have something for you. Right, we have all been there running on caffeine, the buzzing energy of a really crowded office, feeling super busy, and then 5 p.m. comes and we didn't actually move the needle and do anything at all. So this is when I realized that there's more truth behind that famous phrase about working smarter instead of working harder. In this case, we will need to be more approachable. So yes, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but in a world of AI, that is exactly what we're all craving. So we're going to use the 95 to 5 rule. You will give 95% value up front and you will basically ask for nothing in return. I know it sounds absolutely crazy and maybe like the complete opposite of what you naturally want to do, but hear me out because this is exactly how you will actually get noticed. Deep down, we all need to agree that being the hero of our prospects, our customers, isn't really a strategy. It is more of a bottleneck. In order to scale, you need to start standardizing excellence. So as I mentioned, for the first 3 weeks of your outreach, we will follow a give to get ratio. You will give 95% value and expect nothing in return. Let's start with week 1. Week 1 is all about the market trend because you're not going to talk about yourself or your business. Here's what you can do instead. Think about the biggest challenge they might have, then pick one that you know that you can help with, and finally gather backed data and insights that are relevant to that particular challenge. Let me show you an example. Hey, name. We're seeing CFO salaries in the tech sector jump 20% right now, especially due to the new ECG requirements. Thought this might be a helpful benchmark as you plan for Q4. You're being brief, clear, and relevant, and most importantly, you're not asking for a call just yet. You're simply proving upfront you have the talent intelligence they need. Obviously, this is an example, so maybe you can do a little bit more than that, but just keep it quick and snappy. Right, that first email has been sent. Now let's take a look at that second one. Week 2 is the strategic question. Now that you've shown you understand the market, ask a question that relates back to the trend you mentioned. An example could be following up on that salary spike. Are you seeing this impact your current retention, or are you looking at different incentives to keep your leadership team stable? This demonstrates that you're not just finding people, but that you actually understand the business of people. Why? Because you don't just find a body for the seat. You mitigate a $50,000 risk for your department's budget. You know that the cost of a bad hire is at least 30% of the employee's first year's earnings. You don't find average fillers, you find the 10xers who will change the company's trajectory. Because you know that high performers are 800% more productive than average performers. You don't just fill a seat because it's empty, you source for a manager with the track record that you need to take the business to the next level. Okay, and now for week 3. This one is for showing the most placeable candidate profile. Here you will provide the evidence. You can, of course, keeping in trend with your previous emails, share an anonymized profile of a top tier candidate, not as a pitch, but as an example of the talent currently available in the market, a market that you have access to. By now, you haven't asked for a thing. You've given data, strategy, and proof. You've moved from being just a vendor to a trusted advisor. And that being said, start owning your data. What used to work previously, like the spraying and praying method, is not really working now. Instead, when you use a sequence like this, your data starts working for you. Think about it this way. When we rely solely on external platforms to find people, we're essentially renting our success. The moment we stop searching out there, the pipeline dries up. But when you use a sequence like this, you're actually building your own internal IP. You're moving away from the so-called data graveyard, those databases where 70% of the records go stale every year, and you're creating a living system of intelligence. It's also a great way to do a quick health check of your own process. If you have to screen 10 people to just get one interview, it's a sign that the search quality probably needs a little love. The goal isn't just to do more or make more calls. That's the fast track to actually burning out. It's about refining that approach so that you're hitting a 5-to-1 ratio instead. That's when the magic happens. You're actually doing less heavy lifting, but the results are so much better. As promised, we have left a little gift for you in the description if you want the cheat sheet we use to track these ratios. Start looking for the patterns others are missing, and as we say, keep a wide eye on the market. I'm Natalia Bullitt, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.